Hello, in this video we will do introduction to parametric diagram with instance modeling and simulation. We'll show how to use instance tables and manage instances with variance modeling and instance configurations for the system alternative variants. So we'll start from this block diagram. We see a very simple model here. Vehicle has total mass, mass limit, engine as a part and body as a part. Engine has mass and body has mass. Now if we want to create a parametric diagram here inside of the vehicle, we can do it by right clicking and creating parametric diagram. We can also use equation wizard. So right click on block vehicle, click on the tools and then parametric equation wizard, and we'll type total mass equal mass 1 plus mass 2, parse and map. Here we have constraint created, and here we have system properties, and we will map mass 1 to mass of the body, mass 2 of mass of the engine, and click OK. We get parametric diagram created. Now second part of the parametric diagram could compare the total mass to mass limit, right? So I will take this parametric diagram and will click on this equation wizard again, but now in parametric diagram, I will click it without selecting anything, because if I will select this one, I will see the equation wizard for the same constraint, but now I will click without selecting it. So I can add another one. So total mass should be less than mass limit, and parse and map. I get recognized names of the properties and I click OK. Parametric diagram updated. Now I can run this. It doesn't matter if it will run in context or without, it always runs in context, right? And I see the result here. So in simulation dialog, I see that mass limit is 5,000, total mass is 3,000. This comes from the body mass and engine mass. If I will update any of them, parametric diagram immediately recalculates. And if the constraint is not satisfied, I see that the red color and constraint is not satisfied. If constraint is satisfied, I see green color. Now this configuration is taking properties from the default values of the block value properties. Here we see this coming from those properties, but it's not always good, because I might have alternative configurations and I want to save them with alternative configuration simulation results. For that we use instance. So I will right click on the vehicle, will click on this second button, export to new instance, and then we'll create package system model configuration, this package, and we'll create instance in that package. So I created new instance in the package. Let's see what's happening here. I have instance of this in this package of the system model with all the properties as it was at that moment. So I will go now here, and if I will simulate this instance, what will happen is that it will run this block simulation and will load the properties from that instance, whatever was saved in this model. You can also update here in the instance directly. You can update here. Let's say that I want to update engine to 7800, right? And then select the top and save as the instance, and you see that now I got engine updated, mass updated to 800, and this is not the default value of the engine, right? This is that instance, which I can always invoke by simulating this. So to work with instances, there is really convenient with the instance table, because it allows to show compactly instances, plus it allows you to see what only properties you care about. So I will create instance table as a diagram in the same package. Here we see two fields, classifier and scope. I will set classifier as the vehicle. This is the block, which instance you want to show, and that's which instance we created, so the vehicle block. And then scope is the package where I have my instances. And here you can see some properties already visible, but I will go to columns and select columns and pick the properties which I want to see. So that would be mass and body mass, engine mass and body mass. Okay, so now I have here configurations mass of the engine, mass of the body, mass limit, and total mass. If I will want to create another instance, I will click here, create with parts, which will create another instance of the vehicle with all the properties inside and the parts inside. And now I could say that, okay, this will be like 700 here, and the body mass will be 3000. And if I will select just this line and simulate, I will run this line. If I will just simulate without selection, I will get both lines executed and value calculated, and result is compared to total mass. Okay, so that's how instance table works. So it's very convenient. There's another common situation when we have in the block diagram alternatives. For example, for the engine, we have engine 1 and engine 2. And those are variants of the engine. They inherit from the engine, right? And they redefine the property mass, right? So let's go to engine 1, go to properties in standard mode, properties, select this property and redefine. Redefine means change in context. So I will change it for the engine 1, it will be 700 default mass, and for engine 2 it will be properties, select redefine, will be 1000 default mass. Those are alternative architectures for the engine, and you can have, you know, separate structures for each of them with properties, behaviors, and so on, and extra properties, for example. Now, because this property is connected in parametric diagram, when you choose one or another variant, you will get that input from this engine or this engine to the equation, right? And the same you could do for the body and any other part in the system model. So how now to pick the variant configuration? And for that, instance table is actually perfect. So now to select the engine, we will select the part here in columns, select columns, engine. Okay, so here we have this engine. And here you see engine default one was selected. So I can go here, remove the old one, double click again, click and pick engine 1 here. So you immediately see 700 as the default mass for the engine. And then remove that one, plus engine 2. And I see 1000. And again, rerun the simulation for both variants. Now, if you want to create another variant, you can do it again with parts and with custom engine characteristics, for example, 1500, and run all of them, or just one, 3000, for example, 600, run, evaluate. And now you see that the validation, even if this one fails, does not color code. So this is the last thing I want to show in this video, is actually that you need to create at least one simulation configuration diagram, which is very technical thing here. You just need to load a profile which has validation rule, which will color code those validation rules based on the constraints in the parametric diagram. So now I will execute again all the 3 variants. And now I will see color coded this one as a red, and I see the constraint is mass, total mass less than mass limit is failing. So what's happening with the instance when you run the simulation from the instance is that instance is executed, which you select all of them one by one, and it runs this classifier of that instance. So the vehicle in this case loads that structure and allows you to simulate that structure with the values coming from the instance. So it could be historical values, configuration values, including what part was selected, engine 1, engine 2, what values were selected, and also results of that configuration. So which could be, you know, specific for that configuration, which as we can see here, depending on configuration, we have total mass. So it is better to keep that in instance instead of the default value of the vehicle here in the block diagram, because it is only one default value and it depends on the configuration. So that was introduction to the instance table, parametric analysis with instances, and how to create variants and manage those variants in instance table. So thank you.